Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, Abai, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, I'm not po- I know you guys know that I've not posted a video for a long time, especially my great followers out there. I know, sorry, I've been pretty tied up. Well, today I'm not going to be speaking, all right? So no preaching or there. I know, but I know I started this because I wanted to make a difference to the world, not just me. People who want to make a difference, right? So that's basically what I'm trying to do here. So instead of talking today, we're going to do some work. Now, me, I'm a huge fan of developing Android apps. So I decided, why not? Why not show the followers or the viewers or here to, help them showcase what they want through apps? It's possible. We can take this like working journey. Now, speaking, it's kind of a passion where you just talk, like you're all tough and all that, but without the work, speaking just goes off like it's a waste. So with the work, you can actually make your speaking more passionate. Like you've done stuff, you've done great things. So today we're gonna build an app. We're gonna build an app. That's right, guys. We're gonna build an app. So I'm gonna take you guys step by step, and as we progress with the videos, we're gonna be building up really, really cool apps. Trust me, guys. We're gonna build something really cool. I don't know what yet, but yeah, something like an awesome chat bot or something. It'll be amazing. So today we're gonna start with really something simple. And I say simple, I mean really simple, guys. So it's like basic quiz app. Quizzes are cool. You can make your own questions, test your friends. The best part is you can share your score. Yeah, we're gonna make an option like that. Not many, when we actually build some app, we just want to show that we've done this, but we don't want to go that extra mile saying that, hey, I want to share the score. So what do I do? Guess what? We're gonna do that too. So we're going to do this using Android Studio. So let's start from the beginning. That's right. Hit the waves. Hit the waves. That's right. Remember, I'm Code Dance. I dance. All right, let's get this started. All right. So I've opened up Android Studio as you can see there. So I just started a new project. So let's see. We'll name it as Quiz. Oh, Quiz for Dev. Quiz for developers, basically. Yeah. Like that's pretty neat. Let's start with Android 5.0 because I recommend that. I feel because most of the devices are coming with Lollipop. KitKat and Jelly Bean are kind of outdated, but you can still do it. No telling that you should follow Android 5. You can make the minimum as 4.2 and support a large number of devices. But look at that, approximately right on 71.2 devices. That's great. All right. So let's first next. We're going to start with an empty activity because we're going to build from scratch your layout, how it's going to look, right? We'll be specifying certain options where you can customize and put your own. Yeah. Finally, main activity, we can leave it as it is. I'll tell you how we can edit all of this, right? Make sure you take this back for compatibility so that it works with the previous Android versions too. Like the new layout works with the older ones too. It kind of supports the older devices too. So make sure that's ticked. That's it, finish. So let's wait until it builds, right? Gradle is building it for us. That's right, Gradle build started. How about some music? So I hope you guys are doing real good. Yeah, it's been quite a while. Right, I'm enjoying. Feel the vibe, right? Make sure you're doing it like you're actually doing it pretty good. Yeah, but I think we're almost done. Yeah, I'll pass the song we're about to do. You can text me some. I mean, you can comment down so that we can feel the vibe next time. Suggest me some new songs, right? We can listen to that while doing all this. Make it more vibey. That is one of my new songs that I found out today. It's kind of groovy. Yeah, that's right. It's getting really cool. You know what? We'll wait until it finishes. I'll be right back. All right. You're welcome back, guys. So yeah, it's ready. So as you can see here, it says constraint layout. I know this is kind of confusing, especially for people who are using it the first time. Don't worry about it. We're gonna use something pretty easy here. Now, when you look at a basic quiz app, you see that every line comes one below the other. So Android Studio can, help us achieve this thing by using a layout called the linear layout, where the orientation is either vertical or horizontal. So what we need here is what? We need vertical, right? So let's change this into vertical. That's right. We are editing code. It's amazing. Yeah. So I've changed the linear layout. Okay, so we don't need this text view because we're going to write our own content. And one important thing is this Android is like an attribute. So one important attribute in linear layout is we need to specify the orientation. So it should be either vertical or horizontal. It's like a necessary attribute whenever you use linear layout. So let's type it out. Its orientation, let's make it vertical. All right, that's pretty good. Let's see. So now what we need here is we need to make a text view. Now text view is basically the text that is going to be displayed here. Right now we deleted the previous one, so there's nothing displayed here. All right, so this is the layout. So we're going to make it good. All right. So let's type in a text view. All right. Text view. Let's make the width, completely match the parent. Now when I mean match the parent, the entire width of the screen. This is match parent. This entire thing. Wrap content is whatever content you type, it takes that much amount of width. Now we'll make the height of wrap content because if we're going to put match parent, it's going to occupy the entire screen. Now look at this. We made sure that it only takes the required amount of height at once. Otherwise, it would take the entire height, which is, kind of pointless because you will not be able to see the other things that you type out, right? All right, so next thing that we do here is we're gonna enter a simple question. Typing anything, we need to use the attribute text and type in whatever we want. Now, I personally like One Piece manga. So One Piece is like a Japanese cartoon, and I wouldn't call it cartoon, anime, guys. It's a trend, and I love that. So I'm gonna be using simple question from that, and just you can write your own questions. It's up to you guys. So I'm gonna be writing a simple question here. Who is Luffy's father? Hmm, who is it? Okay. Right now, let's see what we get on our layout. Ooh, look at that. Let me just make this bigger. There you go. Who is Luffy's father? Uh huh. Now, I can see that this thing is kind of on top of it and we can't see properly. So, there's something we can do. We can add some padding. Now, padding is the spaces between this. Now, when I mean spaces, like we don't have to make it touch this part of it. We can like drag it a little bit down to equate the padding, like not touch the edges basically. So let's add the padding. So instead of adding to the text view, I'm going to add it to the linear layout. So when we put it to that, whatever comes under the linear layout will follow the same padding, so it will look even. It's just formatting, guys. No, complicated coding. All right. So right padding 16 dp. Okay, let's see what this does. Oh, look at that. 16 here, 16 here, 16 here, 16 here. It's great. Now, I think this is a little too small, so let's make it big. Yeah, the font size is real small. So let's type in text size. Oh, there you go. So let's make the text size as like 18 sp. Now this is like a unit for text, so just follow what I'm doing here. SP is like a unit, so 18 SP like makes it bigger, right? All right, so I think that's working out pretty good. You know what? Before doing anything, let's just try to run this app. All right, so we got a tool here says run. Let's run the app. Let's run it on a virtual device here. So let's see how it works out. Yep, our device is starting up. This might take a while. All right, so until that, let's enjoy our groove. Post in the comments what you want me to do next so that we can make it more interactive. Yeah, maybe like like a live video so that you guys can post your comments down and we can sort it out together. Yeah, if you want me to do a live video, please kind of comment down below. Yeah, I feel pretty weird right now. Guess what? I am a weirdo. Oh, all right, let's see how it looks on this device. It's starting up. It's installing the APK. It should open any minute now. Yeah, boom. So this is how it's gonna look on a device. So I think it looks pretty good. Who is Luffy's father? All right, we need some options for this, right? So let's keep this as it is, right? We can move this away. We can see that later. So for making those, we gotta make those radio buttons. Now, when I mean radio buttons, are those small dots where you gotta point it out. We'll see in a minute. Let's type radio button. Let's wrap the content here, and let's add some text. Text of Luffy's father's name is Monkey D. Dragon, right? So let's name him out. Monkey D. Dragon. Right now, this is how radio button is gonna look. Yeah, here we go. See that? See this? Yeah, that's a radio button. Unfortunately, the text didn't come out. Oops, spelling error. Text. There you go. So now it looks pretty good, right? You have Monkey D. Dragon. Now, I want to add so many of these, so we can add more of these radio buttons. So instead of writing down, just copy paste. That's what coders do. We copy paste. Let's put this as Monkey D. Barb. Supposed to be Luffy's grandfather. So it's a valid option. People not watch One Piece because they don't reveal it so soon. So Silken. Okay, what am I doing? Let's add in. Yeah, let's add Goldie Roger. He's the parking. If you guys don't know that. And let's see who else we can add here. Let's add someone named Marshall D. Peach. Cool. Alright, let's see how this thing looks. Hey, look at that. It looks pretty good. And yeah, but there's one thing. Now, if you notice here, I didn't have to put a new line or anything. Linear layout automatically makes sure that whatever we put next, like text view, then the radio button, automatically understand it has to come to the next line. So that's the advantage of a linear layout. It just comes to the next line. So yeah. Now I want all of this to be grouped together for the single text view because a radio button should be grouped under a particular thing. We should not be allowed to click more than one option, right? Radio buttons mean that only one option necessary. So we add something called as the radio group. So this radio group is going to be like a parent. Now when I mean parent, now this linear layout consists of so many other layouts. So this linear layout is what we call as the parent, and these text view radio buttons are called as the child. So we're going to add another, what do you call it, another parent, but within the linear layout. So let's call this parent as a radio group. Let's match the parent here. This is wrap content. So we copy this and paste. Boom. No change, but the best part is now all of this are now grouped under radio group. Now I'll tell you why I'm doing this because we need to be editing the main activity, right? So now that we get this, we need to add more and more of this, right? We need to add like around 2 to 3 questions. So for now, we'll add 3 questions overall. So we can just copy this entire thing. Paste down. Yeah, there you go. So now let's see how this looks. Whoa, we just got to edit the content now. We got 2 questions. That's amazing. What do you think the second question should be? Let's see. Mm, what is Luffy's full name? I know, anime fans, if you're looking at this, I know it's kind of stupid, but bear with me. And finally, let's see. Okay, we've added 2 questions. Let's see how it looks. Okay, at least we're distinguished how it looks. But I want some spacing, There should be some sort of good spacing here, so let's add the spacing here. To do the spacing, we can either use margin spacing or padding spacing. I prefer margin because it looks more neater. So let's make margin from the top because I want some spacing from the top. Let's make it around 24 dp. Let's see what I mean in a minute. See that? This spacing is the 24 dp I'm talking about now. I think it looks pretty good. Now let's just see how it looks on a device. Let's just run the app. All right, looking good. We got 2 questions in. So far, so good. We'll keep it as it is. All right. So now that we made these 2 questions, I'm going to be adding something more different here, like something called as a button, because, like I said, the aim of this quiz is to make sure that the person doesn't get a second chance in answering, because he can search the net and just answer it. I will be cheating. right? So I'm going to add a submit button here within the radio group so that you'll know what I mean once we add it. So let's go to it, and where's the radio group? Oh yeah, that's it. Now we're going to add a button. Wrap content because we don't want the master banner is going to look really long. We don't want that. And let's add a text here saying submit. Okay. So let's just copy this here. Wow, look at that. It looks pretty good. Mm-hmm. So when I press the submit button, it should submit the answer that I've selected. That's the basic aim here, nothing extra. That's what we want because once we submit, the person cannot go and edit what he has done. He cannot unsubmit, he can only submit, and that's done. All right, that's the main aim here. What do we do next? Let's see. All right. Now that's one thing. Now we need to add some operation behind this. When I click on the radio button, it should do something for me. And how do we recognize it? We can do this by adding IDs to each of these text views and radio groups and radio buttons. So I'm going to add an attribute called the ID here. ID. Now to create a new ID, you need to select the first option here, and let's call this as one. All right, cool. Let's name the radio group ID as RG1. Let's name ID for this as RB1 because it is a radio button. So let's copy this and paste. So we got RB2 and RB3, RB4, and name this as RG2. Let's name this as RB11, RB12, RB13, RB14. Okay. Oops. My bad. We missed here something. Just RB13, RB14, and let this be B2 because this is a separate button. And I think I forgot to add here too. Yeah. Let's name this B1. Cool. Okay. Now that we added, we're going to now do some Java. That's right, Java. So what do we do in this Java? We're going to do the main backend of the coding here, like the main parts. All right. So now we got two questions, and each of them should store the answer for us. So the most simple thing that we got to do here is first of all, we need to declare all of the IDs that we're going to use. So we need to declare them in the form of variables. And to do that, we just got to define them as a global. When I mean global, we have, let's say, a chunk of functions. Like now, this is what I call a function. We have separate function. Now, if you declare this outside of a function, any function here can use. But if you declare within this on create function, we cannot use it. We can only be used within these two brackets. It cannot be used beyond the bracket. If we want to be, if we need to use these variables beyond the bracket, it needs to be defined outside of the function right here where I'm pointing with my mouse. So let's define a radio group here. We had two of them, RG1, RG2. Find radio buttons. RB1, I guess we don't need that. We'll see when we need it later on. Yeah, we need buttons anyways. Just the submit button. Yeah. buttons b1 comma b2. All right, so let's define a function here, public void question1. Now you might be wondering what I'm doing here with this view parameter. Now whatever is inside these brackets are called parameters. That is what we're going to pass inside. Now since the submit button is going to be used in the layout, we need to somehow connect it. So that's why we're using the parameter view. All right. So in this button, we need to assign which function we're going to call. So right now for question one, we need to call this question one function. So let's add an attribute called onClick. So question one. Now we assigned it. We know that this function is to be accessed and used in this view, this whole view. So this question one will go out there and check out which option we have ticked and get the answer for us. Okay, that's the main idea here. So now let's initialize. Let's add value into the radio group. So rg1 equals radio group find view by id of r.id.rg1. So now this is like a reference. rg1 now refers to the radio group 1 in our XML layout. So it can access anything in this. Cool, right? Cool. So now we need to even reference to the button as well. b1 equals button find view by id of r.id.b1. Now we need to know which button that the user has selected. So the user can press any of the radio buttons and we need to get that to know whether the answer was correct or wrong. And we're going to find int id equals rg1 dot get checked radio button id. Now this is the reason why I'm using a radio button, radio group. So within this group, it can know which radio button is checked. Simple, right? So I'll now know the ID which he has pressed. Now that's why I defined IDs for each of the button. So if I pressed option 1, RB1 is going to be stored into this ID and I can check whether it's right or wrong. Yeah. Now select an ID. Now we need to figure out what the correct answer for this. I know the correct answer for this, of course. I wouldn't put in that question without that. The answer is RB1, Monkey D. Dragon, is the right answer for who's Luffy's father. So if ID double equals to r.id.rb1, I'm going to define a score variable so that the person will know how much he has scored in the quiz. That's very important, right? Without that, it's not a quiz. So we're going to increase the score now. We need to make sure that this button cannot be pressed again by the user once you're selected. So set enabled equal to false. Now this will make sure that once the person has clicked the button, he cannot re-click it again. All right, but how do we know that we have to give a better user interface to the user? Like when he has pressed it, he should know whether the answer was correct or incorrect. So for that, we're going to use something called as a toast. Now toast is like those text which appear suddenly. All right, I'll show you in a minute. So toast.make text. We're going to make a text that is to be displayed to the user when he actually clicks on the submit button. All right, to see if it is correct or wrong. Now this is referring to the context. Like if I'm referring to radio group 1, the toast will come for radio group 1. All right, yeah. Correct. All right. I'm going to show you how this looks. Okay. But wait, we need to know if the answer is wrong as well. What do we do, right? So we have to have an else. Else what happens? We need to know that too. So we do not change the score. We can show Toastmasters saying it is incorrect to change this correct to incorrect. And again, we need to disable the button because even if it is incorrect, he is not allowed to change the answer. Alright, so far so good. You know what? Let's test it out and see how it works, okay? Alright, let's test it out. I'm going to run it. Alright, the app is loaded. So I'm going to press Monkey D Dragon and it should say correct. See, this is a toast message and it disappears. I can't re-click this, it's done. Let's run this app one more time and see how the incorrect option works too. Okay, so I'm going to press Marshall DTs. It's incorrect. I don't get any points. So there you have it. Now this is like the base for question 1. I'm going to just copy the same thing for question 2 as well. Because we need to follow the same thing. You just gotta change the IDs and everything is gonna work. Okay. RG2, RG2, B2, B2. And second question, again the answer is option 1. So this is going to be RB11. Okay. So the total marks that the user can score for these two questions is 6. So 6 is going to be the highest score. All right. Yeah. Okay. So right now what we can see here is we'll enter two questions. Now let's test this thing out before we move on any further. Remember, testing is very important. All right. Okay. Monkey D. Dragon. Correct. Monkey D. Luffy. Okay, we encountered an error. We're not actually enable what question 2 is supposed to do in our XML layout because we have not added the attribute. Come on, you know it. That's right, on click. So when I press on click, I need to press question 2. Now, the next time we run it, it should work. Watch. So, Monkey D. Dragon, submit, Monkey D. Luffy. Oh my god, it again shows an error. What's going on? Let's see, RB11, that's gotta be it. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Oh, there you go. We're again referring to RG1. It should be RG2. Okay, let's run the app again and check it out. Correct. Woohoo. We're done. Somehow, we're again making a mistake here. It should be B2. Yep, now I guess it should work. Alright, so this is like the basics I'll be putting up a part two on how we're going to make sure we can share this course. So basically, you can create any number of questions you want and yeah, make your own quiz with this, guys. So I'll be posting part two tomorrow. Until then, stay tuned. I hope you guys feel it was been a good tutorial. If you do not like it, it's okay. If you like it, I would love you guys to encourage so that I can make better videos. This is my first try. So yeah, see you guys later. This is Code Dancer signing off, and I'm Millie rocking.